This is the WEN AF1270, a 4.2 amp, 3-speed, remote-controlled air filtration system rated at 750, 950, and 1270 CFM. I set it up to deal with the fine dust haze that lingers after planing, sanding, and routing, and I wanted something that could keep up with a busy shop without screaming over everything else. The promise is simple: move a lot of air, filter it through a 5-micron pre-filter and a 1-micron inner filter, and do it quietly enough that I won't mind running it for hours. Key features that stood out to me on day one were the strong airflow, the 120-volt plug-and-go design, the remote with a set-and-forget timer, and a noise profile that stays in the mid-60s dB range, which is shockingly mellow for how hard it works. The look is all function, a big black steel box with a strong industrial vibe. It feels dense and well-braced, with solid welds and clean seams. The housing doesn't flex, which matters when you hang something overhead and run it at high speed. The intake face is easy to access for filter changes, and the included eye bolts make mounting straightforward if you've got solid framing overhead. The remote is small and simple, and the buttons are positive. Nothing fancy here, just sturdy and practical. The overall feel is confidence-inspiring. No rattle-can thin metal, no flimsy latches. It's built like gear that's meant to live in a shop. From my experience, setup comes down to 2 decisions: where to place it and how to hang it. I used lag screws into joists, chain, and carabiners, plus rubber washers between hardware and the unit to cut vibration transfer to the structure. I placed it to create a gentle circular airflow across the room so it pulls from the dusty zone and pushes cleaner air toward my bench area. Once powered, I ran it on high to check balance and vibration, then dialed back to medium for normal work. The sound is a steady whoosh instead of a high-pitched whine, which I appreciate. It sits under the noise floor of most tools I use. Real impact shows up at the end of a dusty session. On medium or high, the visible haze drops fast. In my opinion, the 1270 CFM top speed makes a difference when I wrap a long sanding run and want to reset the air in a hurry. The spec says it can circulate a 1,000 square foot room up to 9.5 times per hour, and I'd say that feels accurate in practice with standard ceiling height. I rely on the timer a lot. I finish up for the day, kick it to high, set a couple hours, and walk out. Coming back later, the air feels noticeably cleaner and there's less fine dust settled on surfaces. The remote is clutch for an overhead unit. It works from across the space, line of sight, and the speed changes register instantly. I've never had to climb a ladder to poke buttons. The 3 speeds are actually useful. Low is whispery background cleaning, medium is my default while I'm working, and high is the let's clear it now setting. Power draw around 4.2 amps is friendly to a typical 120-volt circuit. It hasn't tripped anything in my setup. As for filtration, the 2-stage approach is smart. The 5-micron outer filter catches the heavy stuff and protects the 1-micron inner filter from clogging too fast. I vacuum the pre-filter often and swap it before airflow drops. That simple habit keeps performance snappy. I also tried a third-party inner filter with activated carbon. If you use finishes, solvents, or epoxy, the carbon layer helps with odors and some VOCs. It doesn't turn this into a lab-grade purifier, but the difference after wiping down with mineral spirits is noticeable. Dust collection reality check. This is an ambient air scrubber, not a source extractor. I still run a dedicated dust collector on tools. This unit shines by pulling what escapes capture, keeping the overall air cleaner, and cutting the afterglow haze. It's perfect for continuous background cleaning and post-session polish. Key features that keep me using it daily are the airflow noise balance, the remote plus timer, and the straightforward maintenance. The 63 to 68 decibel range is comfortable, so I leave it running while I work without feeling worn out by noise. The timer is set and forget simplicity that actually gets used. The filters are easy to get, easy to swap, and not overpriced. And there are plenty of third-party options if I want to tweak performance or add carbon. In my opinion, the heavy build is a big win. A substantial chassis reduces vibration, and once it's hung right, it stays put without buzzing the ceiling. The air changes per hour spec isn't marketing fluff. If you size your space correctly and keep filters clean, the room reset is obvious. From my experience, the best results come from running it during the work, not just after. Keep the fine stuff from building up in the first place. I'd recommend this for anyone running a serious hobby or small pro shop up to around 1,000 square feet who wants fast turnaround after dusty work and a cleaner baseline during the day. If you apply oil-based finishes or work with adhesives, consider the carbon inner filter upgrade. If you only need localized chip and dust collection at the tool, this is not the solution by itself. Pair it with proper source capture and let this handle the floating fines. A few notes for transparency. It's heavy, so plan your mount and get a second set of hands. The remote appears to be IR, so keep line of sight in mind. The stock inner filter is rated to 1 micron, which is great for shop dust, but it's not HEPA. If you're chasing sub-micron particulates, understand the limits and plan accordingly. None of that is a deal breaker for me because the core job, moving a lot of air through decent filters quietly, gets done every single day. In conclusion, the WEN AF1270 earns its keep by combining strong CFM, comfortable noise levels, and easy control. The remote and timer change how I use it. I don't hesitate to run it because it's quiet and simple. The two-stage filtration works as advertised, and filter maintenance is painless. The upgrade path with third-party media adds versatility for shops that handle finishing as well as cutting and sanding. It's perfect for makers who want a clean baseline in a 120-volt shop without complicated wiring or constant fiddling. Please check the comments section for detailed information about the WEN AF1270 4.2 amp 3-speed remote-controlled industrial strength air filtration system. Thank you for watching.